Hey, today I'll be talking about episodes 21 through 22 of The Double. Ali and her procession are making their way back to the capital, and the streets are lined with starving commoners. We know through official reports that there is a nationwide drought, but seeing it in person, it's worse than they thought. They don't want to cut directly through this natural disaster, but it's the only way they can make it to the capital in a timely manner. To bolster their claims about what happened at Huaixiang village, they arranged for the villagers themselves to come to the capital as well. They will be bringing forward a formal petition to overthrow Magistrate Xue's conviction. The villagers are taking the long way through an area less affected by the droughts. There are too many of them to risk starving in the disaster-stricken areas. Ali made sure to tell the villagers to stick strong to the story of her being Zhang Li, as it's the only way to save her father. Glad that was addressed. Ali and co stop in a random village to rest, but before they can get a wink of sleep, there's a major crowd of villagers banging on her door. They've heard the tales of the brilliant and generous second lady of the Jiang family, and think surely she would have some method of relieving their hunger. They really shouldn't even know she's here, let alone be at her gate, and this seems to have been Chancellor Li's plan for, as he said, making sure she doesn't return to the capital. Li's uncle gets soft-hearted and ends up feeding the kids, but Ali rightly guesses that this is going to come back and bite them. She tells everyone to pack up immediately. All they've done now is show that they do have some food, and that information will no doubt attract an even bigger crowd of starving people. They try to sneak out, but it's too late. The people are swarming like zombies. When she won't get out of the carriage, they start breaking their way in. Desperate for the food they're sure she's got hidden away. Things are looking desperate when Shi Jie and Jing Rui. You guys are the best. Back at HQ, the Emperor is also worried about the starving people, but his ministers don't seem to have any good solutions for getting food out efficiently. The Emperor doesn't seem to realize, but it's Chancellor Li sabotaging efforts to resolve this issue, hoping to get Ali in trouble as she's located in the heart of the storm right now. Huh? Li makes it very clear to Zhang. He might be able to arrange for Zhang Li's safe return, but she would have to be returning on her own. In other words, without the villagers and their damning petition. Ali gets safely to an inn, but they're still surrounded by villagers on all sides. There's no way for her to leave the village quietly. Based on the number of people and the speed with which they got here, she knows for sure that someone purposely transported them to her doorstep. They couldn't have walked this far this quickly. They need to figure out who's really behind this, as they are likely also the ones exacerbating the food shortage. They purposely make a big show of third uncle taking her away, hoping to lure out any villagers who actually want her dead. It works like a charm as this man draws a knife and tries to sneak into her carriage. This man is not busy enough. Duke Su heard about her predicament and of course came to her rescue. They arrest the ones who were clearly working as agitators, and the actual villagers are informed that they were used in a plot here. Once the drought started, food was shipped from the capital as disaster relief, but the officials from their original counties were purposely hoarding the grain to manufacture this food shortage. Under Chancellor Li's orders, but they don't need to know that. They then shipped them here with promises of food, but really it was just to use them to start trouble. The main point is there is actually enough food to go around, and they will not be starving to death. Shi Jie shows up with plenty of grain for everyone. He went back to the Ye family, and they used their own money to buy and transport grain here to get her out of this predicament. A little thanks for all she's done for them. In a few days, the grain from the villagers' actual counties will arrive, and everything should be okay. Duke Su also pulled some strings in the back, but you already know he's obsessed with her. We find out that Shun knows everything about Wan Ning's secret plotting, from the Li family to the gold mine. He's pissed that with all he went through in killing Xue Li, she didn't hold up her end and kill Xue Li's father. What was the point of all this sacrifice if she was going to falter at the finish line?
怀乡案一旦翻过来，殿下跟成王多年的经营恐一遭暴。
你竟敢骂我！
Yeah, remember your place, guy. Also, really interesting to me that he knows so much about her schemes. Why in the world would Wan Ning trust him with all this information, knowing full well that he is here under duress? Is she so confident that he would never betray her trust? Or have I been thinking too much of Shun? It really does seem like the guilt is eating him alive. I thought his trajectory would be eventually confessing to everything and taking her down with him, not moving over to her side. Very interesting. So despite all the plotting, Ali makes it back safely to the capital and is immediately greeted by cops, ready to take her and Magistrate Xue away. The villagers are there too. I guess with the delay of her having to stay put for so long, they all ended up arriving at the same time. She tells the Huaixiang villagers that they should not be afraid, justice will prevail. She walks up to the Dongwen drum, struck only when a great misjustice needs to be righted. It's a direct entreaty to the emperor, who resides within hearing distance. She screams to the heavens that she will see justice done for her this man. And guess who was the last person to beat this drum? As Ali is taken away, the villagers take their turns beating the drum loudly enough to be heard by the heavens themselves, by which I mean the emperor. Gladly, he is not put off by this. He has been hearing tales of Jiang Li through Duke Su, and we find out that he has been looking forward to this.
正好就借你这一颗棋子，我们好好肃清肃清我大燕的官场。
Ali is brought in to see Grandma Jiang and explains to her that she is doing all of this because Xue Li once saved her life when they were together in Zhenyu Hall, so she's trying to repay the favor. She also explains that a lot of the steps she's taken so far were forced, mostly by the actions of the Li family. This is just what she needed to say to get her father back on her side. Their families have been enemies for years at this point, and it's hard to blame his daughter now. She was clearly just fighting back against their schemes.
我们应该协同李二，给李家一击才对。
The day of the trial arrives, and outside, Ali finally comes face to face with Chancellor Li. Not beating around the bush, he tells her this is likely her last taste of freedom, as there's no way her family can ever defeat him.
李相国，
Yeah, dude, did you forget you're in public, or? He scuttles off and they talk a bit as Ali reveals she's found out a bit about his past. She's heard the story of his brave general father and his untimely death, and how his wife followed him to the grave not long after.
那你的父亲呢？
我如何？
Yeah, dude, did you forget you're in public, or? He scuttles off and they talk a bit as her father tells her to be brave today. No matter what, he has her back.
臣恭请圣安。
Let it begin. Yes, beat that drum. I love that scene and I am so right there with these villagers. They have been going through it. Ali's uncle has a bit of a confrontation with her when he sees how unwilling she is to help the starving villagers, pointing out that if they were from Huaixiang, she would be bending herself over backwards to figure out a way to help them. I really enjoyed that conversation because truthfully, he's right. But also, who really has the energy to care about every single suffering soul in the world? It's perfectly human to prioritize yourself and the people you care about. Along the same lines, love to see that the Emperor and Duke Su are actively using her to get what they want, because a TV character being good just to be good is about as boring as a character being bad just to be bad. I say this with fingers crossed that we're gonna get a good Wan Ning backstory. So hell yeah, let's clean up this court. Selfish or not, we all have our targets fixed on the same guy, so let's make this shot count. Till next time, thanks for watching.